In Nigeria, where the wise elders remind us that justice delayed is justice denied, the long-shadowed case of Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, has taken a fresh turn with his recent appeal against a life sentence for terrorism charges. This development comes as reports indicate that another judge has been assigned to oversee the proceedings at the Court of Appeal, with assurances circulating that this new arbiter, whose name is being withheld for now, has committed to approaching Kanu's plea with careful scrutiny and a non-partisan stance. This promise of impartiality has sparked renewed hope among supporters and observers alike, signaling a potential shift in how this high-profile matter is handled amid Nigeria's complex ethnic and political landscape. The appeal, filed just weeks ago, challenges the conviction handed down by the Federal High Court last November, seeking a full acquittal on all counts and highlighting alleged errors in the original trial. This na confirmed street news. Na waiting we hear with the report, but be sure say na confirm. Abeg, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and drop a comment to help us grow and bring you undiluted news. What has transpired is a formal notice of appeal lodged by Kanu on February 4, 2026, directly contesting the life imprisonment imposed by Justice Omotosho of the Federal High Court in Abuja. The conviction stemmed from 7 counts related to terrorism, including accusations of inciting violence and promoting secession through his broadcasts and activities with IPOB. Kanu, who has been detained since his extradition from Kenya in 2021, argues through 22 detailed grounds that the lower court committed significant errors of law, denied him a fair hearing, and resulted in a miscarriage of justice. While no specific hearing date has been set yet, the assignment of a new judge to the case marks a procedural advancement, with sources suggesting this jurist has emphasized a dedication to fairness, ensuring all arguments are examined without bias. This step follows Kanu's decision to represent himself after his previous legal team withdrew, adding another layer to the ongoing legal saga that has divided opinions across the nation. If you're following this evolving story of justice, activism, and national unity, hit that like button to show your support, drop a comment with your views on what fairness looks like in such cases, and subscribe to our channel for real-time updates. We'll keep you informed as more details emerge. To understand the gravity of this revisit to Kanu's case, it's essential to recall the broader context that has made it a touchstone for debates on self-determination, security, and governance in Nigeria. Nnamdi Kanu rose to prominence in the mid-2010s as the founder of IPOB, a group advocating for the independence of the southeastern region, often referred to as Biafra, drawing on historical grievances from the 1967 to 1970 civil war that left deep scars on the Igbo people. His Radio Biafra broadcasts from the UK rallied thousands, criticizing the federal government's handling of economic disparities, infrastructure neglect, and perceived marginalization of the Southeast. However, the Nigerian authorities viewed these actions as threats to national sovereignty, leading to his initial arrest in 2015, a jump bail in 2017, and eventual re-arrest in Kenya amid allegations of extraordinary rendition. The trial that followed was fraught with controversies, including claims of rights violations, prison transfers, most recently to Sokoto, and public protests that sometimes turned violent. The November 2025 conviction, which sentenced him to life behind bars at the National Correctional Center in Sokoto, was seen by some as a firm stance against separatism, but by others as an overreach that stifles dissent. This appeal now reopens those wounds, testing the judiciary's role in balancing security concerns with constitutional protections. Key actions in this phase include Kanu's personal filing of the appeal notice, where he not only challenges the conviction, but also requests to be present at the hearing, underscoring his intent to actively participate despite representing himself for the time being. He declined court-assigned counsel, signaling a strategic choice to control his narrative directly. On the government side, the Federal Republic of Nigeria stands as the respondent, maintaining the validity of the original charges linked to IPOB's activities, which have been proscribed as a terrorist organization since 2017. The new judge's reported commitment to non-partisan review, emphasizing a careful look into Kanu's pleas without preconceived notions, represents a pivotal decision point. This assurance, though the judge's identity remains undisclosed pending formal announcements, aligns with judicial ethics requiring impartiality, potentially setting a tone for thorough examination of the 22 grounds, which range from procedural flaws to substantive legal misapplications. Additionally, Kanu's family has pursued parallel appeals in international forums, such as the UK courts challenging his rendition, adding global scrutiny to the domestic proceedings. The implications of this case revisit are far-reaching, touching on political stability, social cohesion, economic vitality, and security dynamics in Nigeria. Politically, a fair and expeditious appeal would either reinforce the government's anti-separatism policies or highlight systemic issues, influencing how future administrations handle regional agitations. If the conviction is upheld, it might embolden crackdowns on similar movements, but a reversal could energize pro-Biafra sentiments, prompting calls for dialogue on federal restructuring. Socially, the case has polarized communities. In the southeast, Kanu's detention has fueled sit-at-home enforcement by IPOB factions, leading to disruptions in daily life, education, and commerce, while fostering a sense of solidarity among supporters who view him as a freedom fighter. Economically, ongoing unrest linked to the movement has cost the region billions in lost revenue, with businesses shuttered and investments deterred. A resolution perceived as just could help stabilize markets and encourage development projects. From a security perspective, the violence associated with IPOB's enforcement actions, resulting in clashes with forces and civilian casualties, underscores the need for de-escalation. A non-partisan judicial approach might reduce tensions, preventing further escalations that strain national resources and human lives. Public reactions to the appeal and the new judge's assignment have been predictably divided, reflecting Nigeria's diverse viewpoints. Supporters of Kanu, including IPOB members and some Southeast leaders, have welcomed the development as a step toward justice, praising the reported promise of fairness as a sign that the judiciary can rise above political pressures. Protests and online campaigns have intensified, with calls for his release framing the case as emblematic of broader Igbo marginalization. Conversely, opponents, including government officials and those from other regions, argue that the original conviction was sound, warning that revisiting it could undermine anti-terrorism efforts and encourage division. Some legal experts have expressed cautious optimism about the non-partisan pledge, noting it could restore faith in the courts, while critics question whether external influences might still play a role. Social media has buzzed with debates, hashtags trending around themes of equity and unity, and civil society groups advocating for transparency to ensure the process isn't swayed by ethnicity or politics. Moving forward, the trajectory of Kanu's appeal hinges on several factors, including the swift setting of a hearing date and the thoroughness of the new judge's review. With the promise of a careful, non-partisan examination, there's potential for key evidence to be re-evaluated, possibly leading to outcomes ranging from sentence reduction to outright acquittal. If procedural errors are upheld as grounds for reversal, it could prompt reforms in how terrorism cases are prosecuted, emphasizing fair trials amid national security concerns. However, delays, common in Nigeria's overburdened courts, might prolong Kanu's detention, exacerbating regional tensions and drawing more international attention, as seen in past interventions by bodies like the UN or UK Parliament. Broader negotiations, perhaps involving Southeast stakeholders and the federal government, could emerge if the appeal highlights underlying grievances, paving the way for political solutions over purely legal ones. Ultimately, this case could influence the 2027 elections, shaping voter sentiments on issues of justice and inclusion. As we continue to monitor this significant chapter in Nigeria's quest for equitable justice, if you found this breakdown insightful, give it a like, share your predictions or questions in the comments, and subscribe to stay ahead of the latest twists. We're here to deliver the stories that matter to you.